The culture of Kenya has consisted of multiple trends. Kenya has no single prominent culture that identifies it. It instead consists of various cultures practiced by the country's different communities. Cuisine. There is no singular dish that represents all of Kenya. Different communities have their own native foods. Staples are maize and other cereals depending on the region, including millet and sorghum eaten with various meats and vegetables. The foods that are universally eaten in Kenya are ugali, sukuma wiki, and nyama choma. Sukuma wiki, a Swahili phrase which literally means to push the weak, is a simple dish made with greens similar to kale or collards that can also be made with cassava leaves, sweet potato leaves, or pumpkin leaves. Its Swahili name comes from the fact that it is typically eaten to get through the week, or stretch the week. Nyama choma is grilled meat, usually goat or sheep. It is grilled over an open fire. It is usually eaten with ugali and kachumbari. Among the Luhyas residing in the western region of the country, inku and ugali is a favorite meal. Other than these, they also eat tsisaka, miru, managu and other dishes. Also among the Kikuyu of central Kenya, a lot of tubers, including ngwaci, and a copyright ma, ikwa, and mayanga are eaten, as well as legumes like beans and a Kikuyu bean known as njahi. Among the Luos residing on the western region around Lake Victoria, corn and fish is a favorite, as well as guino, alia, and green vegetables such as osiga, akelo, muto, and bo, all consumed with ugali. As you travel around the country, distinct differences are noted mainly based on what foods are locally available around such areas. Grains are a staple food for groups that grow grains. Other communities such as the Luo and the coastal community have fish and seafood for their staple food is available in such areas. In semi-arid areas like Turkana, foods made from sorghum are more common staple foods. As you move towards the city, food eaten by working families vary according to preference and ethnicity. Rice and stew is more common with working families, and other dishes like chapati, chicken stew, etc. National dress. Apart from its national flag, Kenya does not have national dress that transcends its diverse ethnic divisions. With more than 42 ethnic communities having their own traditional practices and symbols unique to them, this is a task that has proved elusive. However, several attempts have been made to design an outfit that can be worn as a national dress, much like the Kent cloth of Ghana. Kitenge is a cotton fabric made into colors and designed through tie and dye and heavy embroidery. It is commonly worn by a number of Kenya's populations. Though also worn in many other African countries, kitenge is yet to be accepted in Kenya as an official dress, as it is only worn during ceremonies and non-official functions. The Maasai wear dark red garments to symbolize their love for the earth and their dependence on it. It also stands for courage and blood that is given to them by nature. The kanga is another cloth that is in common use in practically every Kenyan home. The kanga is a piece of clothing about 1.5 meters by 1 meter, screen printed with beautiful sayings in Swahili, and is largely worn by women around the waist and torso. Music. Kenya is home to a diverse range of music styles, ranging from imported popular music, Afrofusion and Benga music to traditional folk songs. The guitar is the most popular instrument in Kenyan music, and songs often feature intricate guitar rhythms. The most famous guitarist of the early 20th century was Boney McKee. Other notable musicians of the 60s era include Faddy Williams, recognized by many as the author of the hit song Grace Phillips that was later redone by Miriam Makeba, Boney M and Daudi Kabaka. Popular music in the 1980s and 90s in Kenya could be divided into two genres, the Swahili sound and the Congolese sound. There are varying regional styles, and some performers create tourist-oriented hotel pop that are similar to Western music. The Mushrooms, later renamed Yoga, was one of the popular groups in this era. In the recent past, newer varieties of modern popular music have arisen which are mostly local derivatives of Western hip-hop. Two subgenres have emerged, Genge, and Kapuka beats. This has revolutionized popular Kenyan music and created an industry dominated by the youth. There is also underground Kenyan hip-hop that gets less radio play than Kapuka or Genge because it is less club-oriented and more focused on social commentary. Early pioneers include Poxy Pressure, Kalamashaka, and K-South. In Nairobi, hip-hop is viewed as more of a style than as a musical culture. There is a great correlation between the youth who listen to rap music and their economical status in the country, with the majority of them coming from wealthy economic backgrounds. Since hip-hop is portrayed through clothing, magazines, and CDs, all of which are expensive, only the wealthier individuals are able to enjoy these luxuries. Mainstream artists include Nameless, Redzan, Necessary Noise, Nonini, Juakali, Kleptomaniacs, Longombas, Susana Nobio, Akieng Abra, Eric Wainaina and others. Their sounds run the gamut from reggae ragga, pop, Afrofusion to hip-hop. Contemporary Kenyan music is becoming quite popular, with African-based music channels such as Channel O and MTV Base, giving them a greater award. The Xima Music Awards, which recognize musical talent across East Africa, were founded and are currently based in Kenya. Every year numerous Kenyan artists take up categories in the scheme. The African Children's Choir features children, many of whom are orphaned, from Kenya, as well as from other neighboring African countries. Literature. Film. The government has not been very supportive of the film industry in Kenya. Few locally made films have consequently been released. However, a number of foreign productions have been shot in the country. The most recent such movie is the award-winning The Constant Gardener, directed by Fernando Murals and starring Ralph Fiennes and Rachel Weisz. Other films shot in Kenya in the recent past include the Academy Award-winning Nowhere in Africa and Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. Sheena, Queen of the Jungle won great acclaim in the 1980s and was one of the first foreign movies to be shot entirely on location in Kenya. Other highly acclaimed films set in Kenya include Karen Blixen's Out of Africa, starring Robert Redford and Meryl Streep and directed by Sidney Pollack, and Born Free, an adaptation of the autobiography of Joy Adamson. In 1999, part of the movie To Walk with Lions, which featured actor Richard Harris, was shot on location in the country. Notable film actors from Kenya include Paul Onsungo, David Moa, Sidedo Nilo, John Sibayok and N.J. Uriah Die Masai, a German movie about a Swiss woman who fell in love with a Samburu warrior. Won an award as the best foreign language movie, though it was received very poorly in Kenya itself. Rise and Fall of Idi Amin, based on the Ugandan dictator, was shot in Kenya and is considered one of the most successful movies produced and directed by a Kenyan. Indigenous Kenyan filmmakers include Ingolo Wakia, Albert Wandego and Judy Kabinge. Nowhere in Africa, an award-winning German production, tells a story about German Jewish refugees living in Kenya during Second World War. Most of the movie is set in Kenya and numerous scenes show actors, either Kenyans or main German actors, speaking Swahili. Some of the latest notable productions include the footage screened to the music of U2, Robbie Williams, R.E.M. and other acts at the Live 8 concerts in Europe and the US in July 2005, Africa Mon Ama, shot over a period of 3 months in Samburu, Shiba and Lamu with a renowned German actress, Iris Berben, in 2006. The Kenya Film Commission was established by the Kenyan government in 2005, but only became fully operational in mid-2006. Television. Acting for television has proved popular with the Kenyan audience. This genre has been around from the 1960s when actors like Mzee Pem graced the Kenyan television screen. Others, like Benson Wanjor and Mary Kaveh, followed later with their comedies presented exclusively in Swahili, reaching millions of households courtesy of Kenya Broadcasting Corporation television station. Serious television drama was witnessed for the first time in the early 1990s with the entry of popular actors like Paxson Ngugi, BMJ Muriithi alias Ben Mutua, Jonathan Muriithi and Betty Akieng, alongside other thespians who featured in a variety of TV shows following the liberalization of the airwaves by the Kenyan government. Tosharian, a Swahili television series featuring Kenyan fine actors like Dennis Kashiro and Tony Msalame has premiered in the late 1980s, becoming arguably one of the most popular productions to ever hit the Kenyan TV screens. A new genre in the form of stand-up comedy followed when actor Johnny Nderitu entered the scene. The new style was later to be perfected by the group, Rida Kaialas, a trio of young Kenyans Walter Mung'ea, Tony Njuguna and John Kiera, who specialized in political satire. They lampooned not only the establishment but also Daniel Arap Moi, the Kenyan president at the time. The lampooning of the Kenyan head of state was unprecedented and could have easily led to their prosecution, or even detention without trial, had it been done in the 1980s, when mimicking the head of state and exhibiting any form of political dissent was considered treason. Other stations known to promote theatre in Kenya include Nation TV, Kenya Television Network and Citizen TV, all based in the nation's capital, Nairobi. K24, the newest TV station to enter the scene, started its test run in Nairobi in December 2007. It captured the interest of many mainly because of the introduction of Jeff Koinange, one of the most popular Kenyan journalists who has worked for major international media houses like CNN, as its chief news anchor. A satellite and internet-based 24-hour Pan-African TV channel, A24, was scheduled to start broadcasting from Nairobi in 2008. This will be in honor and memory of world-renowned and award-winning Kenyan photojournalist, Mohammed Amin. Theatre. Kenya annually holds a large drama event, the Kenya Schools and Colleges Drama Festival. The Kenya National Theatre is based in Nairobi opposite the Norfolk Hotel. Notable theatre performing groups include Elia Debuto's Festival of Creative Arts that stages regular stage performances at both the Kenya National Theatre and Alliance Francaise, Phoenix Players based at the Professional Centre, Heartstrings Ensemble and Mombasa Little Theatre Club based in Mombasa. Notable names on the Kenyan theatre scene include actresses Stella Owinja Muka and Anne Wanjigu. Renowned director Tyrus Gathwe cut a niche for himself and is perhaps the most well-known theatre directors in Kenya today. In the late 1990s through the early 2000s, Ahome Utohi followed in the footsteps of the legendary Nga copyright Wathiongo when he, through Ajiza Productions, teamed up with Tyrus Gathwe and embarked on a project dubbed The Taking Theatre to the People, which saw them stage numerous productions, mainly political satires, at night spots throughout the country. Other notable directors include Festival of Creative Arts' Carol Adongo and Mbeki Mwalimu, as well as Mumbai Kagwa, who are currently the only female directors in Kenya. George Mungai of Phoenix, Keith Pearson, Sammy Mingi, John Sibayok and Victor Berra directors worth noting. See also: List of African cuisines, List of ethnic groups of Kenya, Literature of Kenya, Music of Kenya, Sport in Kenya. Further reading: Adhiambo, Christopher Joseph. Theatre for Development in Kenya in Search of an Effective Procedure and Methodology. Pierre Thielman and Ekhad Briatinga. ISBN A978-3-939661-07-8. References. Sources: magicalkenya.com